Oh, hi, didn't see you there. Just coming out to the park with the TCTV laptop. Thought we might as well do this episode outside since it's been so beautiful out. By the way, the TCTV laptop, this is the kit here. It's available to you for no charge. If you want to be certified to check out the laptop and edit at home or at the park, I advise you to take the advanced editing class and you will be certified. Now, the advanced editing class has a prerequisite on it. You have to have taken the digital field and editing class before you can sign up. So the first step is to take the digital field and editing class. And today on the TCTV Training Show, we are going to take a look at some videos produced by people who have taken that class. So stay tuned. We've got a lot of exciting things today. We're going to learn about trimming your dog's nails. We're going to see some favorite places for kids around Olympia. Go on a tour of Timberland Libraries and learn about their new library program. Learn about guinea pigs. We're also going to play a game of tag. So don't miss a minute. The TCTV Training Show is coming up.
It's the TCTV Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. They're learning how to shoot and learning how to light, learning how to mic and edit right. These are TCTV's finest in training, doing their best with focusing and framing. It's the TCTV Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. You're watching TCTV. It's the Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. They will get better.
Hi, welcome to the TCTV Training Show. I'm Robert Cam, the Member Services and Media Education Manager for TCTV. The TCTV Training Show is composed of videos produced by members of the digital field and editing class. We air a new episode each month. It airs Thursdays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 3:30 p.m. only on TCTV Channel 22. Let's go to our first video by Jamie Jensen on Timberland Library.
Hi, I'm Jean Padavan.
And I'm Pat Chupa. We're here from the Timberland Regional Library to tell you about a new show that will be premiering soon on TCTV.
On the Shelf is a book talk show with a focus on a particular theme or topic. And we hope these lively discussions of books and authors will both inform you and entertain you.
Once a month, we'll select a different book to discuss, and we'll add some other features to make it interesting.
The Timberland Regional Library is composed of 27 libraries in 5 counties. All the books we will be discussing are in the Timberland online catalog and are available from any of these libraries. There are also a lot of activities going on around the district throughout the year, and during the show, we will try to highlight some of them.
From book talks
to special events.
Occasionally, we'll invite local authors
or go on location
to show you local places of interest.
So please join Pat Chupa and I, Jean Padavan, from the Timberland Regional Library for an exciting half an hour exploring what's on the shelf on TCTV soon.
All right, good job, Jamie. The shots at the beginning, the introduction to this piece was fantastic. I love the shots of the signs and the music behind it, well edited. The graphics she used and the music were well placed. I did notice some glitches from the very beginning of this piece, and I have a feeling that glitches are going to come back to haunt us throughout this episode. Whenever you see digital glitches in your video pieces, please let us know when they happen, and we're going to try and track them down, because they can come from the cameras, they can come from the editing devices, and they can come from the decks you use to transfer your video onto. So we need to find out where they're happening, and not to mention they could also be caused by old tape. If you keep reusing a tape over and over again, you can have some serious digital glitches. But we need to find out if that's our equipment doing that. So please help us diagnose that problem, and let us know anytime that you see something like that, and let us know which editor you used. Try and remember which camera you used, and we'll try and track that down. Jamie used a lot of great photographs of various libraries around the area, and a good map that she used. And that's always a good idea. It's a lot easier to grab a photograph, a JPEG off of a computer or something like that, and bring it into your video than it is to actually take a camera and go out. Not to say that you shouldn't check out a camera and get footage when you need to, but remember, that's always one of the tools that you have at your disposal, is just use pictures, use still frames and still images to complement your video. So good job with that. And you can tell in this piece that Jamie did a lot of work, because there are a lot of nice looking on location shots. One where a gentleman is coming out of a truck and going into the library. Nice piece of footage that demonstrates special events at the library. So you can tell that she did a lot of work. It takes time to set up that tripod, hook up that camera, and get that footage. So good job, Jamie, and really cute ending. Let's go to our next piece by David Hamilton.
Oh, hi. I think if you ask most people what the hardest part of grooming their dog is, they'll say it's doing his nails. Most dogs really hate having their nails clipped, and Charlie doesn't like it either. So here's some ideas on how we cope with getting Charlie's nails ready to go visit in the hospital. This chart shows cross-section of a dog's nail, and we can discuss some of the things to be careful of and what you're trying to accomplish. If you're using a clipper, you should make sure that you cut perpendicular to the direction of the nail. That's the best way to avoid cutting into the quick. You should cut in small amounts. This part of the nail will typically be scalloped on the bottom. This is the hardest part of the nail, and you can sort of feel with the clipper when you get to the softer material closer to the quick. If you cut diagonally across the direction of the nail, you're more likely to cut through that soft material and get into the quick before you know it, and that's a bad experience for your dog and makes nail clipping harder the next time. This is what you're ideally shooting for, and it's best accomplished with a combination of a clipper and a file or a grinder, or just a file and grinder by itself. What you really want to do is to cut around the quick, leave a shortened nail. It doesn't have to be really, really short, but it needs to be smoothed off, and cut as short as is reasonable, but smoothed off so that any sharp edges are not going to scratch a patient that you're visiting in the hospital. Using just a clipper alone, you can see that you will leave sharp edges and raw edges that could scratch a patient. Even though the nail is short, it needs to be smooth. These are typical tools used for cutting dogs' nails. This is a pliers type of clipper. It's my least favorite kind. I find it hard to see what I'm doing. It's hard to take off small shavings of a dog's nail at a time. So I tend to not use this one. This is the guillotine type. which has a sharp blade which cuts like a guillotine. And this, when my dog likes or doesn't mind the use of a clipper, this is the kind that I prefer. For grinding off the edges of the nails, I always use a acrylic type of acrylic nail file, and here I glued some sandpaper on the back side so it could be a bit coarser. And really the best tool of all for taking care of dogs' nails is a grinder. I recommend a battery-powered one. This 120-volt one tends to go too fast and makes way too much noise, but this is my preferred tool. These are the tools that I like to use for clipping the dog's feet. For cutting between the toes or on the bottom of the feet between the pads, I use a scissors that has a blunt point. This is my favorite one that I use here. There's another smaller version. As you can see, it has a rounded off point, also a blunt point. For trimming around the edges of the toes or on top of the feet, here's a thinning scissors that we use. The first step in getting the feet and nails right is to, in the bath, make sure that you get plenty of soap in between the toes on the bottom side and also on the top side of the foot. Here Henry's getting his nails clipped. He thinks it's a big game today. When he's calm, it's a lot easier when he's a little relaxed. And here I take just shavings off, trying to cut that hard part first, and then as you take just little shavings, you can feel when it gets harder or when it gets softer and closer to the quick. Then you use the grinder to get the edges smooth. If you have a nice grinder, you don't really have to use a clipper.
Good to see some nice, happy dogs. David, what an educational piece. A lot of dog owners don't know the proper procedures for trimming their dog's nails, and this was very educational. Very well put together as well. I love the beginning, the on-air camera stuff with David and his dog, and very, very cute. He did a really good job. He delivered his lines perfectly, and he had a nice, well-written voiceover to accompany him throughout the piece. So really good job on scripting and delivering that to us. I love the way he did the tool layout. That was nice and clever and very clear cut and straightforward. So good job there. I did see some glitches in this piece as well. So again, a reminder to you to be vigilant and look for those things. I know sometimes they're hard to see, but it'll help us out if you let us know which editor and which camera you were using or when you checked it out. We can go back and look at it. There was a slight skipping problem with the jump back and music loop at the beginning and the end, but it was really something that you had to look for and had to listen for. The loops just weren't edited exactly to where it looped smoothly, and there was just some kind of jump in there. And I think there was a problem with that jump back. That particular jump back had like an extra frame of black, which is kind of hard to deal with. And if you've never used jump backs before, remember, they're all on the cows. You can just go here onto the desktop you go over to this folder called Jump Backs here, open it up, and you have several to choose from. You've got the All-American category, and you can see that that one has a bunch of fireworks in it. You can put it in the columns mode so you can look through all these, and you can actually play them a little bit. So you also have 2 other categories to choose from. These are just kind of simple, generic looking jump backs, and then you have your science, ed, health, which has some educational backdrops. You'll notice that from the beginning of the TCTV Training Show. There we go. Let's get back to Final Cut Express and to David Hamilton's piece. So, nice piece, well written, good camera work, nice creative shots, and very educational. Great job, David. Let's go to our next one by Michelle Edwards.
Where's your library at?
Right behind me.
Do you know what town this is it's in?
Our town.
You say Lacey?
Lacey.
How much do you come to the library?
A lot of times. I like to go to hands-on museum to get a real cat and a tin cat. And I play it, I don't know what else, and I like to drive an ambulance, and you are one who was sick, and we need to go to a doctor's office, and it's everybody's in mine, and when you go down that slide like I did, a cops will say no to you, and you might get in trouble.
Well, what do you see inside the Capitol?
Stairs and all kinds of stuff, cool stuff.
Where's the Capitol at?
Right there, right over there, behind me. Well, Waterset Park, and I like to go to those woods and go on trail, go on bridges, but never go a long ways down. You might get hurt. It's in Thurston County, Olympia. We're at Tumwater Historic Park.
What can you do here?
We can play in what's also with ducks in it.
Were there ducks in there before?
Well, nowadays, sometimes.
And what else is there to do in this park?
Can play and can play with our family.
What do you do while you're at the parks?
I play.
You have fun?
Mm-hmm.
Do you make lots of new friends?
Yeah.
Okay, first thing, I have to commend Michelle on working so well with a 5-year-old. If anybody out there has worked with kids, it is a whole new set of challenges. I love this piece because it is really local, and that was part of the assignment, is to make sure that it's local, and this one is. It's very local, so I'm very happy to see that. You may have seen some jump cuts in this piece, and those probably could have been smoothed over with some B-roll. A lot of the shots were long shots of Angel in front of the place that he's talking about, but if you would have just put in a close-up of the sign, or an interior shot, maybe him playing at the Children's Museum, and those could have been cut in to paste over all those jump cuts where we had to just chop it up and cut some of the dialogue out and squeeze it back together. So some close-ups and other things to smooth that over to make those jump cuts not so distracting. And then if I wanted to get a little more picky, I could have talked about the microphone cable being in the shot, and I'm not going to get that picky though, because I realize that it's hard to get a microphone on a 5-year-old and get him not to play with it and get it to stay there. And so she did a really good job, and she did all she could. We don't have wireless lavaliers for checkout, so sometimes you have to have that wire going down the side. And if you're working with an adult and you have the time, you can probably hide it a little bit better by putting it behind them and running an XLR cable, maybe through some bushes or getting it out of the way. And if you really couldn't get rid of it, then you could use a shotgun, which is another thing she could have done. But she probably would have needed a boom operator to hold the shotgun in place. So Michelle, I commend you on a wonderful job. Let's go to our next piece by David Marsh.
As long as there have been kids and playgrounds, there have been games of tag. Following these simple instructions can be the difference between fun and disaster. At the beginning of any tag game, you must choose who is it. If there are no volunteers, then you should use the 1, 2, 3 not it method. It's important to note that if someone new wants to enter the game, newcomers are cucumbers, and cucumbers are it. Next, boundaries need to be set. Using a playground's obvious boundaries is recommended for beginning tag. Making boundaries too big can lead to problems. Now the game can begin. The person who is it must now chase down and tag another player. A player who is tagged is now it. For more advanced rules, including tagbacks, bases, and timeouts, please refer to Playground Survival, Volume 6, Chapter 8, Advanced Playground Tactics. No matter what the outcome, remember, have fun and good luck.
All right, David also gets the extra special congratulations for working so well with children. And this piece turned out great though, and it was really, really funny. The music was perfect, and the little scene with them running around real fast and the music changed at that point, very fitting as well. I didn't find anything really that I could point out not to do. So everybody go out and do what David did and you'll have a great piece. There was some kind of weird audio dropout.
It method. It's important to note that
and that could be caused by a tape glitch, or it could be caused by the edit system hiccuping as he was running the tape. But we would really have to go back to that edit project to really see where it happened. It could have been just a bad edit, something where the two pieces of video weren't connected right.
Training Show!
Now, finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. It's the TCTV Training Tip of the Day. And this month wraps up our 3-part series, our trilogy on audio filters. So stand by for Return of the Echo and Reverb.
It's the TCTV Training Tip of the Day. TCTV Training Tip of the Day. TCTV Training Tip of the Day.
Hi, I'm Robert Cam of Big Mouth Caves. Here is Big Mammoth Cave of Alabama. And next we're going to show you the Cave of Wonders. I'll be at all of these caves this weekend, so tune in for Big Mouth Caves. Hi, I'm Robert Cam of Big Mouth Caves. Here is Big Mammoth Cave of Alabama. And next we're going to show you the Cave of Wonders. I'll be at all of these caves this weekend, so tune in for Big Mouth Caves. This is quite a different cave. I wonder how it would sound if I said, Echo! This is quite a different cave. I wonder how it would sound if I said, Echo! That's all for this episode of the TCTV Training Show. Now, if you'd like to be part of the digital field and editing class, please give us a call at 956-3100. You can also go to our website, www.tctv.net, and click on training to find out when the classes are and whether or not they'll fit into your schedule. Now remember, you must have gone through orientation and you must be a member of TCTV to take the classes. And if you'd like to check out the laptop sometime, remember, you need to take the advanced editing class, and the digital field and editing class just happens to be a prerequisite. You can always watch the TCTV Training Show on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 3:30 p.m. only on TCTV Channel 22. We will see you next month. That wraps up this episode of the TCTV Training Show from the park. My name is Robert Cam. See you next time.
It's the TCTV Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. They're learning how to shoot and learning how to light, learning how to mic and edit right. These are TCTV's finest in training, doing their best with focusing and training. It's the TCTV Training Show.
Oh, hi.
The TCTV Training Show.
Testing 1, 2.
Watching TCTV, it's the training show. The TCTV Training Show.
I can't wait.
They will get better.